You open a fresh bag of coffee. It smells incredible. But when you brew it, sour, bitter, flat. The problem might not be the brewing method. It might just be the wrong roast for your taste. Let me help you fix that, so your coffee actually tastes the way it should. Hi, I'm Auctoritas, second-generation coffee roaster from Japan. And today, I'm going to help you understand how coffee flavor actually works, so you can choose beans that match your taste, not somebody else's. Let's decode flavor structure, roasting level, and common misconceptions that trip people up. Let's break down how those flavor elements show up in each roast level. Every cup you drink is shaped by three key elements: acidity, sweetness, and bitterness. These develop during roasting, depending on how long and how evenly the heat is applied. As a roaster, I rely on all of my senses to track the development. It's not just about watching the beans turn brown. It's about knowing what's happening inside the beans as well. A lot of people judge coffee by how it looks on the outside, but surface color doesn't always tell the whole story. The timing, temperature, and subtle aroma changes help guide how flavor develops, from bright and fruity to bold and bittersweet. Now, here's how flavor shifts over time. Acidity is dominant early on. Sweetness rises as the roast develops. Bitterness comes in at the end and eventually takes over if roasted too far. This balance and how each element overlaps is what creates the flavor profile of your coffee. Let's break down how those flavor elements show up in each roasting level. Light roasts highlight acidity, the first element we talked about in flavor structure. That brightness often shows up as citrus, berries, stone fruit, or floral notes, especially when brewed gently and carefully. Some people describe light roast as lively or even tea-like. These types of flavors tend to be more noticeable in the light roast range, since acidity naturally decreases as roasting continues. If you enjoy brighter, more delicate cups with vivid or fruity characteristics, light roast might be where your taste leans. Medium roast has the widest range, from medium light to medium dark. This is the zone where you start to notice more sweetness and balance. You may taste notes like caramel, chocolate, nuts, or milder fruit, depending on the natural characteristics of the beans. The same coffee can show very different qualities in this range depending on how it's roasted. Not just the time, but how heat is applied. That's why I like to work in this range a lot. It gives both roasters and coffee drinkers more flexibility to explore flavor. In dark roasts, bitterness becomes the dominant note, and acidity fades almost completely. You'll often taste bittersweet, toasty, or bold flavors, depending on the bean. It's important to understand it's not the roast level that creates body. It's the bean itself. Beans with a strong body and distinctive flavor can stand up to longer roasting, and still carry depth even at the darker level. But if the bean is naturally more delicate, it may lose complexity when roasted too far. So, how do you figure out which roast level suits your taste? The best way isn't to compare light, medium, dark of the same coffee, because that only tells you what worked best for that particular beans. Instead, try different coffees altogether. Explore beans from different origin, roast level, styles, and pay attention to what you liked or disliked of each one. And take notes, even just a few words. Bright, chocolatey, fruity, cherry, blueberries, milky, too bitter. It can help you start to see patterns in your preferences. That's how you build your own sense of taste, and how finding the right coffee beans becomes a lot easier. Before we wrap, let's clear up a few common misconceptions. One thing to watch out for. Sometimes a coffee may look like a medium roast, but tastes more like a light roast when you brew it. That usually means the heat didn't reach the core of the bean during roasting. The result is often a sharp, sour taste that can be hard to enjoy. But don't throw them away just yet. If you shift your expectations and brew them like a light roast, you might be able to draw out some of their better qualities. Another common question: is dark roast higher in caffeine? Not really. All green coffee starts with moisture, acidity, and caffeine. As we roast, those naturally decrease. Caffeine is fairly stable, but in longer, darker roasts, a small amount breaks down. So lighter roasts actually tend to retain a bit more caffeine, though the difference is minor. And finally, shiny beans aren't necessarily old. In dark roast, that sheen is already there the moment they come out of the roaster. So don't judge a book by its cover. If you'd like a simple guide to help you choose the right beans, I've created a free downloadable PDF. It covers roasting levels, regional flavor profiles, and the brewing methods. And if you want to dive deeper into pour-over, I teach in-depth online course on Japanese-style pour-over, designed to help you brew with clarity and confidence. You'll find both links in the description. Coffee can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Once you understand your flavor preference, choosing the right beans becomes a lot easier and more fun. I share tips like this regularly. If this helped, I'd love it if you subscribed. And if you've already figured out your favorite roast, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you're drinking. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful coffee day.